Does the subtle body age? What the texts reveal. A sacred teaching on the timeless energy field that carries memory, karma, and spiritual evolution. We know what it means for the body to age. Skin grows thin, hair loses its color, the organs slow, and time writes itself into every cell. But beneath this visible shell, there is another body, a body that breathes without lungs, feels without nerves, and remembers across lifetimes. This is the subtle body. And the question is not just poetic, it is essential. Does this inner body age? Does it grow heavy over time, or does it remain luminous? Can it be cleansed, renewed, or shaped through spiritual practice? In this teaching, we enter that inquiry, not from theory, but through the lens of yogic scripture, inner experience, and timeless awareness. Section 1. The nature of the subtle body. The subtle body is not a metaphor. It is a real energetic structure described across the Vedic and yogic traditions. It is known as the vehicle of consciousness, the inner instrument through which life is felt, expressed, and carried forward. It is what leaves the body in a dream. It is what travels during astral experiences. It is what continues at the moment of death. In the Upanishads and commentaries of the rishis, the subtle body is often described in layers, each finer than the last. The vital layer holds the breath and energy that animates the physical body. The mental-emotional layer contains thoughts, desires, and reactions. The intuitive layer holds wisdom, discernment, and memory across incarnations. The causal layer carries the deepest seeds of karma and identity. These layers together form the subtle field, the space in which spiritual practice truly unfolds. The physical body is like a garment. The subtle body is the one who wears it. Section 2. The subtle body in the texts. While the term subtle body is modern English, its description is found throughout the ancient teachings. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, 5 sheaths are named, beginning with food and ending with bliss. Only the outermost sheath is physical. The rest are subtle, invisible, yet alive. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Just as a person casts off worn-out clothes and puts on new ones, so the soul discards a worn-out body and enters into another." But what makes that transition? Not the gross body, not the soul directly. It is the subtle body that acts as the bridge. In Yoga Vashista, the sage Vashista explains, the subtle body is like the fragrance of a flower. It cannot be touched, yet it shapes experience. And in the Yoga Sutras, inner impressions are described as lasting beyond time and place. These impressions do not live in the muscles or bones. They live in the subtle field. Section 3. How the subtle body changes over time. Does the subtle body age? Not in the way we usually understand aging, not through decay or cellular breakdown, but it does change. It is shaped by every thought, every emotion, every action, every impression, every unresolved memory, every sacred practice. When you are angry, the subtle body contracts. When you're grateful, it expands. When you meditate, it becomes still and clear. When you obsess or regret, it becomes heavy and cloudy. This change is not visible on your skin, but it can be felt. Some people, even at a young age, carry a tired, subtle field, one shaped by emotional exhaustion, karmic patterns, or spiritual disconnection. Others, even in old age, radiate a childlike luminosity, not because of their body, but because their subtle form is light. So the question is not, how old is your subtle body? The real question is, what is its quality right now? Section 4. Can the subtle body be measured? Modern science cannot yet measure the subtle body directly, but there are correlates. Aura photography, while controversial, is one attempt. Changes in heart rate variability, mood, and emotional state reflect subtle shifts. Brainwave patterns during meditation suggest real changes in internal awareness. Most important, though, is felt experience. You know it when your energy feels scattered. You know it when it feels calm. You feel it in the space between thoughts, in the way others affect you, in the stillness that grows deeper with practice. The subtle body is not proven by science, but it is known in silence. Section 5. Practices that refine the subtle body. You cannot stop the physical body from aging, but you can refine the subtle body through consistent inner work. Practices that support this include stillness, the most powerful cleanser of all. Mantra repetition, repatterns mental energy and dissolves old impressions. Slow breath work, stabilizes and nourishes the vital field. Sacred silence, cuts through noise and reveals your true baseline. Forgiveness, releases emotional residues that stagnate the subtle system. Prayer or invocation, lifts your inner field toward the divine. Journaling or self-inquiry, brings subconscious patterns into conscious light. Each time you engage in one of these, you are not just calming the mind, you are rewiring the subtle body. The knots begin to untangle, the fog begins to lift, and the inner light begins to return. Section 6. The subtle body after death. The subtle body is said to persist beyond physical death, carrying the blueprint of your personality, your core desires, your attachments, your unresolved karma, your spiritual insights. At the time of death, the condition of your subtle body determines the next stage. If it is heavy, confused, or chaotic, transition may be slow or tangled. If it is clear, steady, and open, transition may be smooth and luminous. This is why traditional death practices include chanting sacred names, remaining still and peaceful, creating a sattvic environment for the one passing, encouraging presence rather than fear, because the subtle body is not erased, it is released, and where it goes depends on how it has been shaped. Section 7. Does karma make the subtle body older? Yes, in a way. Karma is not just action, it is also impression. Every experience you hold on to adds a layer to the subtle body. Over many lifetimes, these impressions can accumulate unless consciously released. This is what makes some souls feel ancient. It's not their wisdom, it's their weight. And it's what makes other souls feel light, as if they are untouched by history. They are not new, they are just unburdened. This is why spiritual practice is not about becoming something new, but clearing away what is not truly you. The subtle body can become young again. It can become light again. That is the real work of yoga. Section 8. The inner radiance of a refined subtle body. A refined subtle body doesn't just feel different. It becomes a field of transmission. You've seen it in the presence of a true teacher. Their calm affects others. Their stillness is contagious. Their very silence speaks. That is not charisma. That is subtle clarity. When the subtle body is clear, the eyes become luminous. The voice becomes soothing. The breath becomes effortless. The presence becomes medicine. This is not limited to saints. This is available to all, and it begins by becoming aware of what you carry and how to let it go. Final reflection. So, does the subtle body age? No, it does not follow the calendar. It does not decay like the skin. It does not wrinkle or shrink, but it does change. It records, it absorbs, and it can become clouded over time. But here is the sacred truth. It can also be cleared. It can be restored. It can shine again. And when it does, you will feel younger, not just in body, but in soul. Because the real you is not aging at all. The real you is awareness, eternal, clear, and filled with light.